Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome inside Garage Door Sports, your no-holds-barred weekly discussion on everything in the sporting world. For all your news on hockey, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, and more, you've come to the right place. And now it's time for your hosts, Nick McVicker, Kyle Vardy, and Irfan Manji. Another week, another episode of Garage Door Sports. We are now on episode 10. Can you believe it's already been 10 episodes?
I just feel like I haven't been here for half of them.
It's because you haven't been here for half of them. Nick McVicker, joined in studio as always by Kyle Vardy. How you doing, dude?
It's Saturday morning, waiting for Game of Thrones tomorrow, but it's lots of sports today, so I can't complain.
Lots of sports today. You realize that 5 professional teams are playing in Toronto?
I know. I was told to go down to Toronto today, and I said, no.
Well, sorry, let me correct that. 5 Toronto teams are playing. They're not all in Toronto. Blue Jays, TFC, Marlies, Leafs, Raptors.
Was TFC somewhere else now?
TFC's in Seattle, and Toronto's in Boston.
Yeah, but it's on the big screen, so there might be home.
They're here. Well, the Raptors game's going on, though.
Yeah.
But that's at 5. So
it's round one.
Most of the game should probably be done.
It's round 1 of the Raptors. I don't care.
Anyway,
as soon as they play like 76ers or something, and it's like 3-2 in the series, I'll pay attention.
That'll be fun. And you have heard the voice of our special guest today, our first ever actual interview. Not guest host, just a guest. But he will help talk about the rest of the stuff, which is nice.
I'll try my best.
Former Oakville Red Devil, former Buffalo Bull, and current Oakville Blue Devil, Braden Culver. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, happy to have you on. As I said, you're our first actual interview, so it'll be fun.
So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll see how bad this is.
Yeah,
this could be interesting, but bear with us.
First and last time you have me on the podcast.
Since you're here, why don't we start and we'll get to know you a little bit better. I mean, you and me played together for years.
Many years.
Played with
years.
and against each other.
Yes.
As I've said many times, you were probably one of the top 3 players that I ever played with or against.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Considering how many people we played against.
and we played against some very good players. Some very good players.
You got the opportunity to go down and play soccer down at the UB.
Yep.
What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. Having the ability to play Division I soccer. It was a lot of fun. And I know a lot of kids don't get the opportunity to play Division I, so I really enjoyed it.
That's good. You got the opportunity that we all were looking for growing up, playing that provincial level. Like that was something we tried to go for, and you actually did it. So, well, we're all very proud of you. I mean,
no, and I thought many more guys on our team could have gone as well, as you and I had that conversation before.
We've had that conversation. Yeah, we were a good team, all right.
Yeah.
While you were at Buffalo, what was one of the coolest experiences that you actually had with the game?
With the game, probably all the traveling we got to do. We got to go to Nashville. We got to go to California, San Diego. My sophomore year, we got to go to England. Spent a week over in England. We got to go see 2 Premier League games, 2 championship games. We got to play 4 English clubs over there. So it was probably the travel. Being able to travel and play all over the country, and then expand that to different parts of the world.
I was going to ask the question, what's the best place you went to? But I guess you kind of just answered that one.
The best place I went to, I would have to say probably England.
Yeah.
We went for about a week, and it was just a great experience over there.
Yeah.
Great experience,
Right.
yeah. So much fun. Getting to experience those Premier League games firsthand is something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when we have, TFC over here, and we go to TFC games, and we think it's a great time, and then you go over to England, and you realize it's a different world over there.
It's night and day comparatively.
Different world.
It's unbelievable. Like, that's one of the places that I want to go to watch a game. Like, be able to watch an actual EPL game would be just unreal.
Yeah. And surprisingly, the championship games were almost a little bit more exciting than the Premier League games.
Oh yeah.
Because it's all like blue collar, hardworking people from different smaller towns over in England, and they're just so passionate about their club and their team that they'll just do anything for them.
That's what they're waiting for. Like they work all week, and it's football time. I guess
exactly. That Saturday afternoon or Friday night or Sunday afternoon comes, and they're all at the stadium just cheering on their team.
That's so cool.
God, it was amazing.
All right, I
asked
you
a
what
little jealous. Is that what you're
I am, but I'm gonna get there eventually. That's fine.
I know you will.
We asked your best experience with soccer. How was your best experience just down at university in general? Like, I mean, half of it is athletics, but you were also a student. You actually got to experience the student aspect. What was the coolest part about being down at Buffalo? If there is a cool part.
There is
Buffalo.
surprisingly, there is a cool part about being in Buffalo.
What level can he explain? Is there certain things he cannot talk about?
No, you can go all out. It's fine.
No, I think Buffalo's very underrated as a city. You know what I mean? From the outside looking in, it just doesn't look like a great place to be. But I think when you spend enough time there and you get to know the ins and outs of the city, I think it has a lot to offer.
Fair. Okay.
But I mean, some of the coolest things about going to school in Buffalo was, especially having to share your experiences with the other athletes. Like, for example, I don't know if you know this, but Khalil Mack went to the same university as me. So we'd go to lunch in the caf, and you'd see Khalil Mack just having lunch with a couple other football guys.
Yeah.
And then a year and a half later, he's the 5th overall draft pick in.
That's got to be insane.
You know what I mean? And like we go to house parties, and you'd run into him, you just say what's up, and then, like I said, in a few years, and it happens to everybody. Like a few soccer guys went play USL, a few basketball guys are in the D League now. So, just it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I think that's an opportunity that playing at a Division I school, no matter where you are, gives you that opportunity to meet those guys that you wouldn't otherwise be able to meet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Stop looking at me like that.
You're smiling like a 5-year-old kid who just got candy.
It's cool.
It's super
Khalil
cool.
Mack. Shut up.
It's super cool. It's super cool. We went to the movies one time, just myself and my roommates, and he was right in front of us with his girlfriend at the time. And one of my buddies leans over to us and he whispers, "I think that's Khalil Mack." And about 5 seconds after he says it, Khalil Mack turns around and just looks at us and starts smiling. We're like, "Yep, that's him."
Yep, that'll be him. Good job. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. This guy's an animal, though. An absolute animal.
All right. Let's get back to a little bit of the soccer while we're...
got a little off track.
That's fine. That's what we were there for. Reel it back in. You played South Region growing up, which was, as we've talked about many times, it was more of a high-pressure, heavy tackle, knock the guy down, pick him back up, knock him down again sort of league. We didn't play the tiki-taka.
Nope.
We didn't do any of that. But do you think that sort of style helped you play down in the States, or was it like a totally different beast when you got down there?
I would say it definitely helped. It definitely helped, growing up with the exact mentality you were just describing. Get stuck in, pick them up after, get stuck in again. I think especially the conference that I was in, the Mid-American Conference, it's not a flashy conference like, when people think Division I, they'll think like ACC with the Dukes and the University of North Carolinas or
Maryland too.
Maryland, exactly. And then you go out to like California and you have all those, Stanfords and those huge schools out there where they, attract all the national team players. But for the Mid-American Conference, I think it was very similar to growing up in Ontario. A lot of hardworking, good athletes, some very technical players at the same time, but a good combination of grit and, determination and physical ability. So I think it was very, very similar. Nice. I'm very appreciative to have grown up in that environment.
It was a fun league to play in. As much as we necessarily didn't love some of the teams we played against, it was a fun league to play in.
It was and I think the toughness of all the teams, like their physical,
for sure.
Physical toughness, just made everything that much more competitive.
For sure, I agree. You and me talked about this before when we were catching up after 6 years. We had gone without talking.
Too long, way too long.
It was way too long. But you almost had the chance to go to a national team camp.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
So that was a very, very bittersweet experience that I'm very grateful for. So after school, I think this was 2017, came back to play in League One Ontario for the Oakville Blue Devils. We had a very good year actually. Went all the way to the League One championships. So we were playing, I think it was Woodbridge in the League One championships late in September. I think they got off. They scored first. They had a good goal in the first half. And we weren't really playing the greatest. I didn't start that game. I started on the bench. I honestly didn't even know if I was going to get in or not, but one of the guys on my team, he was got into a bad tackle, so he had to unfortunately come off injured. So it gave me the opportunity to get it subbed on and go in. I had a really, really good game. We ended up going to penalty shots. And I was lucky enough to be the fifth shooter.
I was gonna say, did you take one? Or?
Yeah, I was the fifth shooter.
I remember you hated taking them when we played together.
I know. So coach asked who wanted to take one, and just kind of looked around, and
no one put their hand up.
So I was like, you know what?
So basically, what our team did to find our five. Yeah,
everybody looks the other way. What?
Everybody looks the other way. What?
No, honestly, before our first as a team, our coach just stared and he's like, "Who wants to take one?" 2 guys put their hand up. And at that point, I didn't even put my hand up because I'm like, I don't really care. I figured if we had more guys on our team who would want to take them. Like,
yeah. I always remember you taking them, though.
I always took the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you always had the first one.
Because Maddie always wanted to take the fifth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he wanted the glory of having the opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so I was the fifth shooter. I was very fortunate enough to have our keeper saved their fifth shooter, so it was basically on my shoulders. No pressure.
But the thing is, that's really no pressure because if you miss, it just keeps going. It's not
right.
like if you miss, you're out.
Right, exactly.
If you miss, you get another chance, which is nice.
Exactly. So I was stepped up and put it away. My bottom right, keeper's bottom left, and then just went off for a nice celebration after that. But during all that chaos, the national team at the time, the head coach was Octavio Zambrano. And he was at the game, and I had done enough to catch his eye, and I had a reporter come up to me after the game and tell me that he was asking about me, but just in the euphoria of everything that was going on, I just kind of brushed it aside like it was nothing, right? Yeah. So anyways, that was like Saturday night. So next Monday, as I was driving home from work, I get a phone call. And it's Octavio Zambrano. And I'm like so nervous, in the car driving, like, shaking, like what to say. I don't know what I'm going to say.
Shaking in the car is probably not a good thing.
Yeah. And so he just, we had a nice conversation. He was telling me what he thought about my performance in the game on Saturday. And he thought that, I had what it takes to come up with the men's national team. And he was, kind of asking me about my strengths and weaknesses and what I thought they were, and things of that nature, and it was just a great conversation. So then we touched base a little bit later, and then I think there was a camp coming up in March. And I was supposed to go over and play with them in that
in the
ID camp, and then unfortunately I heard the news about he was being released and John Herdman was being being moved from the women's side to the men's side. So that was it was a little bittersweet, but I mean, at the end of the day, how many people can say they got to speak to the men's national team head coach? And
not only that, the men's national team head coach wanted them to come to a camp. How many people can say that?
Yeah, exactly. So it was a great experience. Very thankful for that.
That's insane. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It would have been a little bit cooler if he could, he just stuck around a
little
bit longer.
At least go to the camp would have been
at least go to the camp.
But I mean, you're still on the radar. You're still playing League One for the Blue Devils now, I mean, hopefully you can latch onto a CPL team maybe next year, right?
Hopefully,
you never know.
Hopefully the season goes well, and I can turn some heads, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, League One's good soccer. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not professional necessarily, but it's good soccer still.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, look how many guys signed to Forge and York that played in League One.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a pathway in there.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully you get there.
Hopefully.
We will as soon as you do sign, I will probably have a jersey, whatever team it is, as long as it's I mean, I hope it's not York 9 or Forge because I really don't like those jerseys. But
yeah. But hey, I mean, if I'm gonna take whatever,
whatever.
At this
for
point.
sure. No, for you, yeah. But I mean, if I'm just
I know.
A fan.
Yeah, I know what you mean. A
little bit harder.
Keep your personal feelings out of it.
I know. Oh, I would still get the jersey. I'm just saying, I hope it's not. What did you think of
Yeah.
the jerseys, by the way? We talked about them last week, but
I thought they were interesting. I'm surprised that York went with Macron as their sponsor.
I don't think they could find another one.
I know. I to be honest though, Blue Devils were sponsored by Macron up until this year, and I
Yeah.
think we're now moving over to Nike. So I was.
I think Oakville has, but they have a Naria kits, don't they?
Yes.
So you're gonna be
yes.
you're gonna be sponsored by Nike with a Naria kits.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting setup.
Okay.
I'm hoping they bring us some boots and we
Something's
get
not
to
adding up there.
That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Yeah.
boots out of that.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That was the nice thing about school. I didn't have to pay for
yeah, you're
for
saying
boots
that.
for 4 years.
4 years of free cleats.
4 years
yes,
of free
please.
cleats. Absolutely.
That's
And I
pretty
still
cool.
have some left over too. So
Yeah.
they've yeah.
Oh, these are kind of worn down. I need new ones.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I remember the Western
Mhm.
football guys. Some of them had new cleats every game, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even play.
Some people use new gloves every drive. Oh, yeah. Sorry, these are. No, I'm good.
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah,
have
not
that at
feeling it.
Western. We didn't have that, but we did have the guys having new cleats every game. And the best part was some of them weren't even like they just stood on the sidelines. I'm like, why do you need new cleats?
Because the backup quarterback walks a lot, all right? They need to. They're walking on the pavement and stuff. Like
What pavement?
I don't know.
We don't have any.
There's some eventually.
I guess maybe walking from the change.
It wears down every game,
Like, oh,
especially when
man.
you're the backup quarterback. You don't get on the field,
Blew
so
me away. Could not figure it out, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's pretty cool. That's a great
Yeah.
story to
It's
have.
yeah, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool experience. I'm very thankful.
Well, we look forward to
Mhm.
seeing what you are able to accomplish. I mean, you're one of my good friends, so
Yeah.
I want you to I want you to succeed. I want to be able to cheer you on in the CPL moving forward.
Sorry,
Yeah.
let me just
yeah.
wipe that tear away from your eye right there.
Getting all emotional.
Hey, this was a guy that
Mhm.
I knew was going to go somewhere, but when our
Mhm.
team got cut at under 18,
Mhm.
we didn't know if anyone was going to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
it was all up in the air at that point
Yeah,
because all the
yeah.
teams were made. No one really had a spot
No.
anywhere, and he managed to not only find a spot, he managed to go down, play at Buffalo, get noticed by Octavio Zambrano, which
Mhm.
means there's a chance that he could get noticed by any of the coaches in the CPL, any of the
Mhm.
coaches, even
Hopefully,
Herdman
yeah.
next year,
Yeah.
right?
Hopefully.
Because they have
hopefully.
their next ID camp coming up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully. So I just gotta make sure I perform well this season.
Keep plugging away.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there.
Yeah.
I believe. I know
Appreciate
you
the
just met him,
confidence.
Kyle, but you gotta believe it, right?
Of course. There's always belief.
Anything could happen.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us get to
Mhm.
know you a little bit better.
Yeah. No problem.
Fans, make sure you check out how the Oakville Blue Devils are doing in League One. It's very easy to find it
Oh yeah.
on Google.
Oh. Sorry,
Yes.
we're also watching the United game, so
As Braden
yeah.
reacts to United.
I am a very big United fan, so I apologize for any noises that may come out of my mouth.
If you hear sudden shrieks, then you know why.
Either United scored or West
Yeah.
Ham scored.
Just
We
check.
don't want
Exactly.
Just check the score.
Not going to give it away to anybody, though.
Yeah. Well, it'll be already done by the time this is
Oh,
released.
Oh, that's a
say-
good point. That's a good point.
Let's move on to talk some actual sports now.
What does that even mean?
Because like sports that are happening, like hockey and stuff.
So his career wasn't actually sports, is what you're saying?
It's not live right now. That was we were getting to know him.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Shut up, Kyle.
I got an interesting story about hockey as well, actually. The
I'm sorry. What? You're gonna have to just
well, you brought up-
elaborate now.
you brought up hockey, so I
It's just-
don't know if you guys have heard of Connor McDavid at all.
No.
He's just
Potentially.
just a no-name guy. So, anyways, he had a game in Buffalo a few weeks ago, maybe a bit more than a few weeks, maybe a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But so his high school friends, because obviously he grew up in Newmarket,
Yeah.
are living with my high school friends, who
No
both
way.
go to Brock.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, one of my buddy texted me I think he texted me like Friday night, and this is gonna be a Saturday night. He's like, "Man, you gotta come up to Brock tomorrow. Like Connor McDavid's coming out with us. Blah blah blah."
No
I was
way.
like, "Yeah." I was like, "No way, man. Like, what are you saying?" So, anyways, he did some convincing, and I did end up going. So, went down to Brock, went out to my friend's place. He wasn't there. He was with a few of his closer friends.
Yeah.
But so we went out to the bar a bit earlier than they did. And then while we're at the bar, we're just kind of hanging out, doing whatever. And he just taps me on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, Connor's over there." You just turn around and you just see Connor McDavid just moving through the crowd. And you're like, "No way."
The entire crowd going,
No way.
Well, no, only a
She's
hockey
like,
fan
why
doing
is this guy in
Oh,
a
I'm sure the
random
girls
bar?
were doing that too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen him lately? He looks like
Yeah,
the
man.
dad from.
He's like my height. My height, and
No, I know,
maybe he's
yeah.
a little bit heavier than me. He doesn't look like too much.
No, but I mean, he looks
can
like
fly.
the dad. He looks like the dad from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I have zero idea what you're talking
Mhm.
about right now, so I have no idea.
the pictures are all over Twitter.
He's probably in a crutch right now because apparently he tore his PCO.
Yeah, I was
PCO?
gonna say
Yeah,
that was a bad bounce.
Yeah, that was.
But yeah,
enough
anyways,
for
it's cool to share a booth with Connor McDavid.
That's not bad.
Did you buy him a drink?
Did he buy you a drink?
He bought all the drinks.
Oh, okay.
He's got the money. That's how
Yeah,
you
but,
do it.
I was
it's-
gonna
you
say.
gotta have the feeling, just like I bought Connor McDavid a drink. Like,
yeah,
come on.
It's like, you know what? Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I mean, if he's offering to buy the whole table a drink, you're not buying everybody a
I
drink.
couldn't turn that down.
the money he's making, he might as well buy the whole bar a
Yeah.
drink.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean they felt like they were endless drinks. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They were definitely
I thought I
bottomless.
finished this. No, apparently not. So
But
That's
yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
was a cool experience too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go figure.
yeah. It's all about who you know, man. All about who you know.
Exactly. It really is all
Mhm.
about who you know.
Mhm.
Great
Sorry, yeah.
segue. Great segue into the NHL.
Yeah,
Though, and,
yeah.
unfortunately, Connor's not in the playoffs, but we've had some
No.
pretty interesting results so far in these NHL playoffs.
my
Mhm.
bracket is screwed.
Oh yeah, we have a pool at work.
Ah!
Damn it.
That was so uncalled
Shit.
for.
I just know you're both fans, so I have to be the opposite fan.
Oh my god.
That was so uncalled for.
For those of you that don't know, West Ham just scored.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm surrounded by these two. This will
Oh,
be fun. Really?
Golazo.
All right, back to hockey. Yes, our brackets are all screwed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I had Pittsburgh winning in against the Islanders.
I actually had the Islanders winning, so good for me.
Yeah.
You had the Islanders win.
I had the Islanders winning. I thought
Wow.
that playing at Nassau, I figured that crowd would
Yeah.
get behind them.
It's
in
very bold of
Pittsburgh.
you.
Well, they had the home. They had home ice.
Just wait till it
Yeah.
goes bad to Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh sweeps in the.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their stadium is called, to be honest. In Pittsburgh. Let's
In
just say that.
Pittsburgh,
Let's
yeah.
just say that.
Yeah.
I could not tell you. But yeah, the Islanders are up 2-0.
Mhm.
St. Louis is up 2-0 on
That's
Winnipeg,
yeah.
I had that
Watched
one.
that game last night.
which is just a little bit of a surprise and really
It
not.
it
at the
is,
same
but it's
time.
not. Like Winnipeg was the second worst team next to the Leafs in the second half.
Ottawa
of
was
the-
worse
of
than
the-
both
of
them.
the
Oh,
playoff
team. Okay,
teams.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ottawa was worse than both
And
of
the
them.
hottest team in the NHL was St. Louis.
Yeah.
And
So
Jordan Binnington has stood on his head the first two games.
Which is what
Yeah.
he did to
Yeah.
bring St. Louis back
Absolutely.
from extinction, because everybody in the beginning of the year was saying, oh, Tarasenko's traded at the deadline. Oh, Petrangelo's gone at the deadline. Maybe they trade Parayko and restart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because Jake Allen's trash, but
Jake Allen
that's a whole different story.
Jake Allen is a good goalie. He was never a great goalie, and they wanted him to be a great goalie.
He's
in
not
St.
even a
Louis.
good goalie anymore.
Anymore. He
Very
was. I
average
said he
goalie.
was a good goalie.
But, yeah, so, and then, obviously, we're not talking about the biggest dark horse
I was
in the
getting
room.
to that one. I was getting there. I figured we want to talk about that one last.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh no. I have no idea.
I
I
have
have
Tampa
no
winning the whole
idea. I
thing, so I'm
know.
really screwed if it
Same.
happens.
I think on paper they should be
I
the
think
best
half
team.
of our office has Tampa winning.
Okay, but the question is, if the Leafs win and Columbus wins, who wins out of those two?
Probably the Leafs.
Probably the Leafs.
I think whoever wins the Leafs Boston would have a good chance against Columbus.
Yeah.
I think if the Leafs can get through Boston without getting beat up too badly, then
Oh,
they
yeah.
have a very good shot
Oh,
at,
yeah,
at
for
taking
sure.
on
As long as
Columbus.
Kadri doesn't get suspended again, we're fine.
Speaking of suspensions,
Yeah.
hey, does Kucherov get suspended for that hit?
He got
I
one
don't
game
know.
today.
Did he get one game?
Did he?
Yeah.
Was it announced? Okay,
Yeah.
before I didn't look.
They announced one game.
It's not
Okay,
like he's doing
good.
too much anyways, though.
Yeah. Wow, that's
Did you see Irfan's message?
yes. So surprisingly, so he did get one game, which honestly is the right call. He's not a
Yeah.
repeat offender, but that was
Yeah.
a bad hit.
Yeah.
It's also the playoffs. You can't give a guy 4 games in the playoffs.
I know.
No,
'cause
but
that's
I think
it.
Kadri had a
Could
hit
be it.
last year, and he got suspended for 2, right? Very
it 3?
similar.
Do you think
Was
it
it
was?
2
Do
or
you think it
3?
was worse though?
Wasn't that 3?
Oh no, it was about the same
About
hit.
the same hit.
But the thing is, he was a repeat offender.
Ah, so they
that's
gave him
what
an
I'm
extra
saying.
game.
So they
Ooh.
gave him extra games for being a repeat offender.
Yeah.
That might have played into a factor. But yeah, he needed to be suspended.
You also have to look at star power. For the NHL,
Yeah.
it makes 0 sense to have Kucherov out for more than one game.
I
Yeah.
understand that, but I'm just saying, like, he also hasn't been suspended before.
No, I know. He also led the league in points.
I know.
So
I understand
from a money perspective,
I understand
people are tuning in to see him.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I get that statement, but my point was that Kadri was suspended before. He had priors, and then he did that hit. So his suspension was going to be longer regardless. That's how the NHL works. If you're a repeat offender, your suspension is longer than it would be if you had never got suspended before, which is flawed.
I still think they need to have like some sort of rule where like if it's like your 4th offense, bye.
Yeah.
Depends on what the suspension is for, though.
Like if it's a guy going across ice and nails a guy in the head, and he's done that 3 or 4 times.
Yes, I agree. If
Yeah.
it's the fourth,
something's got to be
if it's the fourth
put
instance
into place.
of the same play, then yes, I agree that there needs to be some sort of precedent in place that players can't come back or miss the rest of the year or something like that.
Yeah.
What's like
I
the
agree
MLB?
with that.
MLB goes 82 or 81, 162, and then lifetime, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah,
and then you can apply for reinstatement and
Is it
stuff like
81?
that.
That was 50.
Maybe
50, 100, and then you're done.
something like that. Whatever.
Doesn't really matter.
It's harsh. Either way,
It's
it's
harsh.
harsh.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it
very
is.
harsh. That's very harsh.
They also have 162 games.
So the equivalent of 50
Yeah.
games would be what?
40.
10?
30.
What?
The equivalent of 50 games in the MLB to 50 games, what would it be in the
you're
NHL?
scaling down to the NHL.
Be
Yeah,
30.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You did not make any sense when you said that the first time.
It did. It made sense.
Okay, so let's just say a 20 to 25 game suspension
Yeah.
for a first offense.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a little harsh.
That's a little harsh.
But to me, that's like after 2 or 3 times, then you give a 20, 25 game ban.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
And then
Gotta
you
send
give
a message.
and then you do seasons and stuff, and you do
I agree.
half a season, full season, whatever it may be.
I agree.
Mhm.
I have no problem with
We
that.
kind of
Yeah.
got off track with that a little bit.
But
Yeah.
we're still talking hockey at least.
true.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
What were we talking about?
Tampa Bay?
The other series that went last night was Vegas, San Jose. They're now tied 1-1.
Look at Carlson's hair. Oh, my God.
Both Williams.
love it.
in the
Luscious
I love it.
locks.
William Nylander and William Karlsson.
Well,
Rocking very
I'm
two
pretty
different
sure
hairs.
there's different Williams other than those,
I was just saying those two, though.
because there's Justin Williams too, who's also in the playoffs.
That's his last name, though.
Ooh.
Doesn't matter. It's still
That's his last name,
it's
though.
still
No,
Williams.
no. That's his last name.
Yeah. So
Who would have guessed?
Columbus, Tampa. I don't think really anybody
No
had
one.
Columbus.
No one would have.
No.
Boston, Toronto. I
What are we
could.
thinking?
I said before game one, I said I wouldn't be surprised if the Leafs had won game one just because they're going in. They have
Mhm.
less pressure.
Mhm.
It's not at home.
It's not at home.
Well, and it's exactly what Brad Marchand said. They took him lightly. They thought,
Yeah.
Leafs in
Oh,
the first round
it's the
again.
Leafs, yeah.
We're gonna walk
We'll
over
win in
them.
5.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No
so
problem.
I
Rat.
I actually said that Toronto was probably going to win game one. I think I picked Boston to win in 6 games. The series.
That's a very reasonable pick,
But
considering what's happened in the past.
yeah. So
Mhm.
all things considered, but I think after the way they played in game one, that kind of changed my opinion. I think
Well,
the Leafs,
yeah.
if they play like they
Mhm.
did like in game one, the rest of the
Mhm.
series, I
Yeah.
think they take it.
It makes me nervous, though, because I feel like Boston's now going to bring the heat
Well,
once they realize
That's fair.
that.
And
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing with that is that how does Toronto respond if Boston goes up by a couple goals?
Yeah.
Right? They got 1 in the first game,
Yeah.
and they responded well. What happens when they go down 2,
Yeah,
3
I agree.
goals?
Yeah.
Right? Boston, when the Leafs went up 2 or 3 goals, responded, and they won every time.
Yeah.
But Toronto has to do that now.
Here's the other thing. Does Boston, after seeing what happened in game one and Tavares and Mitch Marner and Hyman kind of shutting down that top line, do they switch up their matchups? Because they're home. They can pretty much dictate matchups, right?
Yeah.
Do they switch it up and go back to Matthews and try to get Matthews to try to stop that line? But then you allow
gonna say,
Marner and Tavares.
Who covers
Yeah.
Tavares and Marner?
That's
Yeah,
the thing. It's one of the
and
exactly.
Tavares
Exactly.
and Marner line can put in goals just as easily as
I agree.
Bergeron and Tavares.
And I think
Bergeron
that's the
and-
biggest difference between this playoff and last playoff is that the Leafs have 2 legitimate top lines.
Mm-hmm.
Remember a couple weeks ago we were talking depth.
I
We were
know.
talking about Tampa and how they had depth.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what these Leafs have right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
And I'm a Leafs
Right now.
fan. Yeah.
I'm scared for next season.
I'm not.
No?
No.
What about
Willie-
Marner and
Willie's gone. Just saying.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've said that pretty much the whole
Willie and
Yeah,
Zaitsev
that's
clear
been
up
the-
$10 million in cap space. There's Marner's contract right there.
Really? That's it? That's it?
Well, Gardner's also gone.
No, you're
too.
right.
Gardner's gone at the end of the year anyway, so he's
No,
off
I
the
know,
books.
we already have we
Yeah.
have like $5-6 million in extra cap space or
Yeah.
something like that. But you trade away Willie and
You
Zaitsev.
know
and
Marner's
there's-
going to be asking for
Sign
banging
cap.
down the door.
You got to sign cap too.
I know, that's what I mean. That's what that extra money is going to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
You basically allocate 10.5 to Marner.
I agree.
Because that's what you're giving him.
Yep.
And then
I think he's earned it.
Cap and Janssen,
For
you're probably
sure.
signing for
sure he's.
Oh, yeah.
probably a combination of $5 million, I would assume, between Cap and Janssen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess 3 and 2.
Something like that.
You think we need a defenseman?
Yes.
That's going
We've
to come.
needed a defenseman since how far do we go back since we actually needed a defenseman? Boreas?
Double
Thomas
DDL?
Caberlet and Brian McCabe.
Yes, but we still needed defense at the time.
I was
Maybe
gonna
it's
say.
those-
We were set with that.
No, but we had those two
Rashford.
and nothing else.
Aki Berg, Carlo Koliakov over there.
Koliakov.
All of our old players are now getting jobs as like news reporters and stuff. So we did something right.
Yeah, we knew that they understood the game. Whether or not they could play it was the issue.
I feel like that's been the issue with a lot of teams, such
I
as
agree.
Arizona, who has yet to figure out who can play.
Yeah,
hockey.
Arizona's
Actually,
know
they
what's
played
going
well
on.
this year. Give them credit. They did play well this year.
I don't trust Darcy Kemper.
That's
I'm sorry.
fine. I'm just saying, as a team, they played well.
He's also probably blind now from the stick going inside of his mask.
That's true. That was dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
What are the other series?
Yeah, we'll go to the games that are happening today on Saturday.
Washington, Carolina. I don't think really anybody's giving Carolina a chance.
They
No.
played really well in that game one, though. They pushed Washington.
They played like crap to start the game, though.
Yes, the first period they
Yeah.
played like crap, but after that, I thought they played pretty decent. So
yeah,
Dallas, Nashville.
I didn't see that one coming.
I have no idea.
See,
No idea.
I had
Yeah.
Nashville going to the finals with
That's
Tampa,
50-50
so
for me.
both of mine could be absolutely dawn. Like,
Mhm.
I-
But you had
Calgary
Nashville
going.
going to the finals?
I had Calgary going. That's looking pretty
I think
good.
that's a fair statement.
I
though.
think they're looking pretty good right now.
it's
Before the playoffs, that was a good statement.
I just
They won 4-0 in game one
Yeah.
against my team. I have them
Yeah.
beating Colorado easily, and just
please
beating up
note
on-
when he says my team. Yet what jersey is
I was
he
gonna
wearing?
say I was very confused. I thought your
hold
team was
on.
the Leafs.
Here we go. Leafs play at 7. Colorado plays at 10:30.
Mm.
There's a
False.
wardrobe change.
False. Leafs play at 8.
They play at 8.
Yes,
Why are they playing at 8 today?
because Nashville, Dallas is at 6.
And they can't have 2 games going on at the same time. They've had it all week.
It's Saturday.
They've had it all
They
week.
need to spread it out to
They've had
make
it all
more
week.
money.
They've had it all week.
It's not Saturday though.
I don't care.
Yeah. So
You guys are way too close.
Colorado, Calgary. Really don't think there's a question there.
No, I think Colorado will probably be able to
Yeah.
steal one game at home. That's really all
if
I'm
they
saying.
can score and keep the puck out of their net.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Because
think that's what I'm
Grubauer
saying. I
looked
think they
terrible.
could steal one. They could steal one at home.
What are they going to
That's
bring
all
in?
I'm giving
Are going to bring in Varlamov and score a goal, or is he going to stop a goal? Because Grubauer sure as hell can't stop crap.
That's fine. All I said was they could. It is a
They could.
possibility.
What are they going to win? 7-6.
Probably.
They might have to at this point.
And that top line is going to have all 7
Yeah.
goals, all right?
Kerfoot might chip in one.
Yeah,
here
he
and
might
there.
get one. Him and Yost will combine for 1 goal.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I didn't know you were a Colorado fan.
Yeah.
Is that number 1, Leafs number 2, or?
More like 1A, 1B sort
1A,
of
1B?
Because they
Okay.
never play against each other, so I really don't have that issue of having to
Yeah.
say, shut up. Hey, I was raised in a Leaf household, so I became a Leaf fan. And then when we were young, we got to watch like Sakic, Forsberg, Tanguay.
I was gonna say they had some-
Foot, Blake, Waugh.
They had some good players, man.
I can
They
name
had
the
some
rest.
fantastic players.
I don't get it.
You're hopping on the train.
I was 4,
You hopped on the train.
and I've stayed there. I never
So-
got off the train.
So get off the Leafs train then.
No, I'm proud. Anyway,
So Leafs Colorado final. Who do you choose for?
Wow.
probably the Leafs.
No pressure.
I probably would choose the Leafs.
Can I please have somebody record that? And yeah, okay. No, I'm saying clip
It
clip
is
it.
recorded.
Clip
Just
it.
clip
I
it.
will clip it.
Clip it.
just for you.
YouTube snippet.
Yeah.
I will clip it just for you.
Okay.
Yes, I would love to see the Leafs win because the Leafs haven't won in
Forever.
51,
Forever.
52, 67, right?
67.
Yeah.
52 years.
I don't know.
I can't-
I'm
some
not great
people
at
don't
math.
believe that the Leafs have the second most amount of Stanley Cup wins, right behind Montreal.
We also won 95% of those when there were 6 teams in the league.
Exactly. Still win though.
We haven't won in 52 years though, so we
you're-
probably need to
So you're
help
saying
ourselves.
there's a chance.
Right, yeah, but if there was a Leafs-Avs final, I would love to see the Leafs win because it would be amazing for this city.
Oh,
The city would erupt.
I'm
would
taking
be
3 days
crazy.
off. If that happens, I'm taking 3 days off work. I don't care.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
I can't even get in. Oh, Rashford.
This is fun.
He's got a big nose. Holy crap. Looking like Toucan Sam out there. Jesus.
Oh, my goodness. How many chances, guys?
Anyway.
Having this game on is very distracting.
That was offside.
I might have to turn it off. Back to hockey.
Yeah, okay. What else are they talking about?
What do you think is going to happen? Like, do you think all the series as they are right now is that going to be how it's going to be?
I think the Leafs is going to go at least 6 or 7 games. I think it's going to go back and forth.
Yeah,
for sure.
Washington, I can see winning in 5. I think Carolina can get a game.
Like Colorado, get a game. That's about it.
Honestly, I can see Calgary sweeping in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way Tampa's played the last 2 games, I cannot see them coming back. Unless they figure things out and go a full 360 and,
they haven't looked good.
Here's how we keep the puck out of our net and
They
here's
did not
6
look
goals.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
that's going to be their first priority.
They didn't
Keep
look
the
good.
puck out
Well,
of the
I was
net.
talking to TJ last night, and Vasilevsky looks terrible.
He's holy.
But
Not
it's
in a
like
good way.
So
like
it's cheese.
3 of the goals were from the above the faceoff dot.
Speaking of holy, how about Hellebuck too? Did you that shot from
Yeah.
O'Reilly for the game winner? Right between the arm and the body.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Close. Like, what are you doing?
Should be basic.
Should be. It'll be interesting.
Think.
Think about it right now. If all the series go the way they're supposed to, or sorry, the way they're going right now.
Okay.
Right. Calgary's through.
Yep.
Don't really know about the San Jose Vegas because it's tied. So we'll leave that one for now.
That could be a toss-up.
That could be a
That
toss.
could be a
Oh,
toss-up.
and Vegas dominated last night, and San Jose dominated the first game.
Exactly.
Okay.
Could be anything.
So that one's a toss-up. So we'll leave that one for now.
Mhm.
We have Calgary, Dallas, St.
So.
Louis.
See, the Dallas one's a toss up as well.
No, I'm just saying, as they are right now. You have Columbus, Toronto.
Yep.
You have Washington and New York Islanders. How many people picked that as their bracket? Anybody? Bueller?
Nope.
Mine's broken.
Not even close.
Close.
So, let's put it this way:
Yes,
who makes the final in each conference?
As
Out of those teams.
I have Calgary.
Okay.
In the West, I
Yep.
still think it's either going to be them or St. Louis at this point.
Okay.
And in the
See St.
East,
Louis.
my heart wants to say Toronto based off the way they played in that first game.
But it's
It's
also
hard.
game
It's hard
one.
to say Capitals.
It's only game 1.
It's hard to out of those 4 teams. It's hard not to say the Capitals because they did it last year. They have the experience.
The Islanders have looked damn good.
They've
so
looked
far.
damn
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
But
But I'm just saying,
after this first round and getting out of that barn, I don't know how. That
By the
team's
way,
gonna
how
do.
stupid is that? Switching home rinks halfway through the playoffs. How dumb is that?
I know.
You don't know what team we're talking about, right?
I know, but
Okay.
it's like
When have they been known to make smart decisions?
Yeah, I know. What was that? How
Let it-
long was that contract, by the way? For
13
13
years.
Jesus.
Still getting paid, I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was done. I thought last year was the last one.
Rick
I thought
Pietro.
last year was the last one, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I thought I heard there's maybe 1 or 2 more years. Someone was talking about the other day at work.
Yeah, it's just embarrassing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a very entertaining playoff so far. We've had some very good games. The St. Louis Winnipeg games were both very, very fun to watch.
The West is always good to watch, though.
Agreed.
It's the
Yeah.
East that are sometimes terrible.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right? Like the West is always back and forth and huge hits and everything like that.
Except for the Leafs Bruins. Usually those are fun to watch because they
Mhm.
hate each other.
yeah.
Do you think if Tampa comes back, that they go all the way?
If they come back, yes. Because then
Yeah.
they ride that.
They just ride the wave all the way?
Only if they come back and win 4 straight,
Okay.
yes.
Then they go all
But
the
if
way.
they come back and they win 3 and they go up 3-2 and then Columbus wins and they have to sneak out a 4th win,
Mm-hmm.
I can see them being on iffy momentum.
Fair.
But if
Yeah.
they win 4 straight and then go through,
Yeah.
I can see them riding that momentum through.
Fair.
That's fair enough. That's a good point. Yeah.
Valid point.
I'm
Good for
behind
you.
that as well.
Thanks for the reassurance of being at a good point. Like, okay.
Anything else you guys want to talk about NHL before we move on, or Bueller? All
No,
right.
not really.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
I'm satisfied.
Let's move on to Champions League.
Yep.
We had the first legs of the quarterfinals.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing too surprising, I don't think. Maybe
No.
actually, sorry, Tottenham City.
Tottenham City.
That was a little bit
I could see it
surprising.
though because having Tottenham move back into White Hart Lane,
Yeah. You're
even
right,
though
that.
it's not the, not the original building, but same spot.
Yeah.
And have you seen the design of the?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's gorgeous.
They did a really good job. Really
It
good
only
job.
took them 5 years to
I
actually
know.
move in, though.
I
But,
know.
whatever. It's fine.
Better late than never, I guess.
What's Tottenham going to do without Kane, though?
I don't know. They did
Against
pretty
Man
good
Youngmin
today.
Song.
Who'd they play today, though?
Llorente, and Lucas Moura.
No, I mean, in the game, though. Which
Oh, they played Huddersfield.
Huddersfield.
Yeah. But, I mean, Huddersfield's already relegated, so they don't have too much fight left in them.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a bit of a surprise, though. Like, seeing that.
The Tottenham
Yeah, the
Chelsea?
Tottenham Chelsea.
Or, not Tottenham.
Or, say
What a-
Chelsea.
I don't know why. I
You
don't
can
know
bring
why
in
it's
Chelsea,
Tottenham
but they're in a whole different league.
Yeah.
Just
They got their own issues.
Aren't they out of that league, too?
in Europa, no.
I thought they were out.
No.
Okay, whatever.
Not unless something changed the last 2 days.
Liverpool won 2-0 at Porto.
Not
Or,
surprising.
sorry, at home
Yeah,
against Porto.
not surprising.
I know what I'm saying.
Liverpool's on
Let's
fire
just keep
right
going
now.
with that.
Yeah, they
I thi-
looked really good in that
Yeah,
game,
man.
so.
I think Alex Robertson's probably one of the best left backs in the league.
Oh, for sure. He's
I
one of the
think
best left backs in the
He
world right now.
could be one of the best left backs in the world.
For sure.
He is phenomenal. He is phenomenal.
Juventus and Ajax drew 1-1,
Huge for Ajax.
but it was an away goal for Juventus.
Still,
So,
yeah.
and then
I think they would take that. If you were to say to Ajax before
yeah.
before the game, you're going to draw 1-1.
I think they would have
Juventus,
taken
I think they would have
0-0.
taken that. I think they would have taken that.
I think they would have preferred 0-0, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Barca United. Barca won 1-0 at United. So
Yeah,
now we got to
that's
go
gonna
into
be-
Camp
I
Nou.
know that's.
But
gonna be
hey, I
tough.
mean, we went into Paris and won after
yeah.
being down 2-0. So
Yep.
you're saying there's a chance?
No.
I wasn't asking you.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance.
There's always a
But
chance.
You also went into
I think Barca's in
you
the-
also went into PSG with no stars.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
half of our squad.
the midfield was I don't know what Solskjaer was doing, but it worked.
We had half of our squad.
That was like a typical Sir Alex
You're
Ferguson.
still not going up against Messi.
You're right. No, I agree. And it's going to be a lot tougher to go into Barcelona and do the same thing, but we just did it. It is possible. United just pulled it off.
The only thing with PSG though is they're notorious for choking in Champions League. Every year.
I'm loving the sound effects today. You're on point.
You don't need like automated sound effects. I just make them.
We need the soundboard.
Wow.
But yeah, so the second legs are next week or this week?
16th.
This week.
This week.
Beautiful.
This week.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oof.
Juventus and Ajax are first
Juventus is at home.
at home, and
I
then
think
Barca
they'll take that.
United same day.
Yep.
Same time. So I guess it's not really first, second, but they those will be interesting matches. And then Wednesday you got.
I'm glad to see United moving further in Champions League.
Oh yeah, I didn't think they were going to be here, to be honest.
No,
so.
I didn't either. Especially once I heard we drew PSG.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical about how far we were going to be able to go, but
Yeah. So
I'm happy.
that's good. I'm glad that they're still playing. They need to get some wins in England to move up that table to make sure we get to
I was gonna
play
say,
in
they
this
need
next
to-
year.
Solidify their spot for Champions League next year.
But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to the National Basketball Association.
Why did you say it like that?
Why
Just
not?
call it the NBA.
Shut up. We finally figured out who everyone is playing. It took all 82 games for some teams. But in the East, Milwaukee will take on Detroit as the number 1 seed. Boston gets Indiana, Philly, Brooklyn, and Toronto, Orlando, which is probably the best possible matchup for the Raptors.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to play Detroit or Brooklyn.
That's probably the best matchup for them, which is great.
Yep.
In the West, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the return of T. Ross.
Return of T. Ross, yes.
Yeah.
Who's looked great off the bench for Orlando. Out west, you got Golden State versus the Clippers, Houston at Utah, Portland, OKC, and Denver, San Antonio. So some interesting. I
bad.
think there's going to be some interesting matchups. That San Antonio
Yeah.
Denver one could be pretty interesting.
The only upsets I can see are in the West.
maybe Indiana over Boston in the East. Other than that.
Even then, that's a
That's tough,
4-5, not
I
like
know.
a,
It's still
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah.
like I can see OKC beating Portland as a 3-6.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Even if San Antonio goes on a run and you have Aldridge and DeRozan go off,
Yeah, that could be a fun.
Yeah,
matchup.
it
they
could be
can
a-
make it interesting against Denver, right?
That'll be a very fun matchup, I think. The Denver San Antonio one. You got some big bigs, I guess.
Yeah.
Sounds weird to say, but you got
Yeah.
the big bigs in Aldridge and Jokic. You got Murray for Denver manning the point. That could be a very interesting matchup.
That
those
could be
two.
an interesting matchup.
The one I'm most looking forward to is that Houston Utah one.
Oh God, yeah.
Where you have
Yeah.
Harden, see how much he can go off, but then also you have the bigs on the inside. We have Gobert against Capella,
Oh yeah.
which is just big against big. So
That'll be fun. I think these playoffs are a little more balanced than they've kind of been in the last few years, as like East-West wise.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Been a struggle for the East as the last few years with LeBron absolutely dominating.
LeBron
everybody.
James, LeBron James.
But now that the East has a legitimate chance to have 4, maybe 5 teams come out of it. I could see like 5 of the teams could come out of the East.
Oh, okay. The way
Yeah,
I'm
I was
like,
like,
there's
what?
only a possibility of 4 teams coming
Shut
out of the
up.
East. Just saying, and only 1 team can actually make the finals,
Shut up. It made sense in my head.
and that's why it didn't make sense in everybody else's head. So yeah,
Yeah, I could see Milwaukee. I could see Toronto. I could see Philly. I could see Boston. I could see Indiana coming out of that East.
Yeah.
I can't see Indiana, and I can't see Boston.
Can't see Boston.
Boston's not healthy.
That's true.
That's true.
Who knows
That's
what Hayward's going to be?
That's true.
He's been off the bench the entire season. Kyrie hasn't looked himself in the last 2 months. Marcus Smart's out for at least the first round, if not the second.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Tatum, will he show up? Who knows? Indiana is playing without their best player, and people are still giving them a chance against Boston, which is saying something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've looked really good this year without him, though.
Who?
Indiana.
Oh, yeah, I know. But imagine
Yeah.
what they would be with Oladipo.
Oh, yeah.
They would have probably challenged Toronto for the second spot.
Probably. I thought Philly was going to challenge Toronto a little more than they did, but
Philly doesn't even know who they are.
Philly has no idea.
Philly has 4 superstars and still can't play together.
Yeah. Philly's lost.
And if D'Angelo Russell goes off against Philly, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. I got a question for you guys. Is this the year the Raptors make it to the conference final and actually win it?
The Eastern Final?
Yes. The conference
Yes, I say they make it.
I think
win
they
it
make it.
is a whole different story.
Yeah.
final. Okay.
It's going to be Milwaukee, Toronto.
I think
in the-
it'll be
in the
Milwaukee,
conference.
Toronto as well.
It's going to be 1-2.
Okay.
And realistically, I see it being in the West. Oh, God. Do they do reseeding in the NBA?
Yes.
'Kay.
I think, unless they change the
I'm
format
interested to
this
see
year.
the second round of the what is it, 1 and 8 seed and 4 and 5 seed? Houston and
If it's-
possibly Houston and Golden
If
State.
it's Houston Golden State, that's going to be a
In
huge.
Second round?
Because
Not
Houston
bad.
had them on the brink last year.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul got injured, and they collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And now with Harden scoring at an all-time record since what? Michael Jordan, I think is what they were
Yeah.
saying, 97,
Jesus.
Something like that,
98 or
yeah.
something like that.
Something like that.
Oh
Oh.
my God.
So United forgot how to play defense.
Oh
That was
my
terrible.
God.
All right.
Mini heart attacks over here.
Braden's dying right now inside. He's
There's hands that are shaking right now. Oh, just off the iron.
Just off the iron.
Dink.
I feel like you guys need to go work together in a commentary position for soccer. This would be probably the most entertaining soccer match I'd ever watched. Thank you. I'm gonna have to cut that down a little bit.
We'll just cut that
Come
out.
on, Fred.
We'll just cut that out. Yeah, we'll just cut that out.
Shout out to Wet Jeans.
We're not showing that. All right, yeah. So the NBA playoffs will be interesting. That's kind of where we're standing at right now.
I think the West is
Yeah.
going to be more interesting than the East, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on. Any other big stories you guys want to talk about? I know Irfan wanted to talk about some stuff, but he's unfortunately not here. So
He's got no voice.
no.
He's got no voice.
But Kyle, you got anything you want to talk about? Hey.
Oh, Sorry.
Excuse me.
I'm trying to build up interest in the game.
But
Jeez.
no one else is watching
And
it.
I
They
said-
don't care.
Oh my God, De Gea.
Oh.
Thank God we have De Gea.
That close.
I need to turn this off.
No, I said there's no stories.
Okay. Braden, do you have anything you want to talk about? You haven't been on, so I'm going to give you the opportunity. Any story you want to talk about in any sport?
Any sport?
Any sport, yeah.
How about Man U blowing it?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Hey,
how bad Man U are
stop
playing right
talking.
now.
I'm going to cut your mic off.
That's fine.
Basically, anything soccer related is good for me.
Anything soccer related is good for you. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of soccer related, there's been a couple more instances of that racial abuse that we were talking about. And
Yeah.
it's starting to get more prevalent, which is kind of sad. But
I know you'd think we'd be past this by now.
well, we were at one point, and then this year all of a sudden it all turned around and
Because
it
they're
went
not
backwards.
They're
again.
not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Like they've had incidents, but they haven't
They haven't
brought
done
down the
anything.
hammer or anything to
Yeah.
cut it out.
Yeah.
They're
Well-
just well.
Go on.
you know,
Go on, Martial. Go
Well,
on,
the story-
Martial. Pen. That's got to be a pen. Yup.
Yep.
Yep. And
Alright,
a yellow.
United gets a penalty. We're gonna see how that plays
Yeah.
out. But the racial abuse. I saw a story. Irfan
Yeah.
sent it to me today about Arsenal. They're trying to combat the Kubali incident in Napoli, and what they're doing is they're gonna ban the fan. They're gonna find out who the fan was that was racially abusing Kubali
Yeah.
and suspend him and ban him for life. He won't be able to come to an Arsenal match. He won't be able to go to any of their away matches.
Yeah.
That's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that it's come to that. Like they should.
It should never come
It
to
sh-
that.
First of all, it should never happen, but that's
Exactly.
another issue altogether. But then there's also the Liverpool-Chelsea issue,
Yeah.
which is also out, and it's like
Yeah.
you can't say any more than we've already said on the show. We've talked
Yeah.
about it 3 or 4 times now since we restarted the podcast.
Yeah.
It's unacceptable, and the
Yeah.
teams need to do something, and thankfully Arsenal is doing something.
Yeah. Hopefully,
teams need
hopefully
to do
Arsenal leads the way, and the other clubs look at Arsenal as an example and think we should act in a very
Absolutely,
similar fashion.
it has to be that way, or else nothing's going to ever change. And there you go.
There we go, Pogba.
Pogba scored. We're good.
He's having a good year.
I guess we'll move on to our feature tire fires of the week.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no! With that, we're gonna start with Braden. We'll start with Irfan's, and actually, let me start by saying we have our first inductee into the rafters for tire fires. They have made it 6 weeks. Handling Your Stars has been retired. It's won 6 weeks in a row. We're not going to keep going because that would just be rude. So we got a brand new vote this week. But congratulations, Irfan. You got the very first one retired. Now you and me got to catch up.
I don't know why I did Star Wars there, to be honest, but
I don't either, but it works.
You guys are gonna have to give me a recap on tire fires.
Absolutely. We'll go through it.
All right.
follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Follow us Instagram, Twitter. It's easy to. We'll start with Irfan's, and his was a painfully obvious one. Chris Davis forgot how to swing a bat and hit a ball.
Until today,
Did he get a hit?
he got a hit.
Good for him.
Oh my goodness.
He still has the record.
That's what Irfan's message was.
He still has the record, though.
Irfan's message was, I took Chris Davis as my tire fire, and he got a hit.
Doesn't really matter. Like the guy went on an absolute record of hitless at bats.
I bet you one of the top news stories. There it is, right there.
and
It is the
news
top
story.
news
hitless streak.
It is the top news story.
Oh my goodness.
62 consecutive plate appearances without a hit
That's incredible.
since last September 14th of last year.
He asked for the ball afterwards.
But that his
Oh my
his
goodness.
inability to hit a baseball for, I guess since September, that's what, like 8 months now, over the time. But 62 straight plate
Yeah.
appearances.
He got an
I don't even think we would be that bad.
He got RBIs on
No.
it too.
Well, I was decent at making contact. He wasn't a good hitter, but I made contact, got on base.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all of us could probably figure it out. I mean,
Yeah.
the pitches are coming in at like
yeah.
98 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour
Yeah.
in the MLB. So
To be
that's-
honest, I didn't realize how fast those things actually come in until a few of my buddies and I went to the batting cages
Yeah.
when we were at school. Start off with 50, 60. It's like, okay, it's not bad. And then you get up
you put it
to
up to 70.
you
even,
put
you're
up to
like,
70, 80. maybe an 85, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
These
you have points.
flying by me right
Let alone
now.
add 15 miles an hour.
I was
I
going to
know.
say, if a ball is coming in at 100 miles an hour, I believe the stat is that you have 0.003 milliseconds to react.
Yeah. One of my
Best of luck.
when we were at school, we lived beside the baseball team. And so we were pretty close with them. And a lot of those guys were telling us, like, yeah, once the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, you swing.
It's too late.
Because
can't
you have no time to react.
Yep.
No, that's crazy.
And then at like a curveball or a slider or something, it's not just a pure fastball.
And you have to pick up the spin on it, too, and see
As
what
it comes out of his hand, you have to know.
gracious.
But yeah, so he broke his streak, but the 62 consecutive is its own tire fire. So Irfan, that's a pretty good one.
Yep.
Vardy, you're up.
Oh, no.
We already talked about it. Tampa's collapse in the playoffs. I've watched the last 2 games, and they just look absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
They're not even playing good hockey. Like, they started off in the first period of the first game, came out flying up 3-0, everything. They forgot how to play hockey.
They really did.
They forgot, like, they just forgot. I don't really know what to say. Like,
They looked bad.
yeah, they looked terrible.
Really bad. They looked really bad. So
And it's just, I don't know. And then there's no bright spots on the team either.
No.
You can't say there's a bright spot when Braden Point has to fight a guy in order to get your team into the game.
And it didn't work.
And it didn't work. You lose 5-1.
Yeah. That's a fair one. I guess I'll go next. We'll save Braden.
Yeah.
Give him a little
Still
more time
thinking
to
right
figure
now.
out. Mine is kind of along the same lines of yours, Kyle, but I'm gonna call it brackets busted. Because guess what? This NHL playoffs is not going to plan for anybody. We talked about it. Bunch of the favorites are not doing too well. We have a bunch of teams down that we thought were gonna win.
But hey, it's not over yet.
Say bye-bye to
not
your
over
bracket. Because things are going to go south real fast.
I had Tampa in 5, so mine's already done. But
I had Tampa in 5. I was going to say 6, but I had Tampa in 5.
I think Tampa in 5, yeah.
Damn. Oh. But yeah, that's mine. So,
all
right, Braden.
Yeah, no pressure.
No pressure.
I'd probably have to go with Man United's goal conceded against Barcelona in the Champions League. That's got to be mine.
Fair.
But
Luke Shaw goal.
I don't know what Luke Shaw was doing. I don't know what De Gea was doing.
Yeah,
De Gea was guarding the post, and
Luke Shaw
I don't
decided to
know.
put it right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a fair one.
That's
That's
what I'm gonna have to go
a
with.
pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've been realizing that our soccer stuff doesn't get votes.
Really?
Yeah. It's very upsetting.
Yeah. Maybe the fan base is all hockey.
All our
All
fans
hockey,
are
NBA, baseball.
Mostly hockey.
Mostly hockey. Yeah, that's all right.
I mean, the Ottawa one is 6-week champ, so it got raised. We don't have to worry about it anymore. Thank God.
Soccer fans, we need you guys to step up.
Soccer fans, step up. Braden is calling you guys out. Step up.
Please
Let's
step up.
go.
Vote.
Braden, thank you for coming on, man. We really appreciate having you. Hopefully we can get you back.
Yeah, anytime,
middle
guys.
of the season, let us know how your team's doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. This is a
Um,
blast.
We want to do a shout out also to friends of the show, Guitar World. They've pretty much outfitted the entire studio with our equipment. So we want to give them a quick shout out. They are in Mississauga. Make sure you look them up. They're fantastic people. Jim Torres is the guy who runs that place. All of them there are fantastic. Please give them a look. If you're looking for a guitar, a ukulele, piano, keyboard, anything like that, make sure you give them a look. They're great people. Kyle, you got any last words before we head out?
nope, I'm going to watch sports right now. So
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
All right. Well, then, from everyone here at Garage Door Sports, we want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.